I was 13. He was shot in Honduras because he was pretty much set up by some chick out there. Some girl set him up. Yeah, he got robbed, and yeah, they got him. So the moment I smell something that doesn't feel right, then I'm just gonna cut that off immediately. I joined the military when I was 18. I was coming out here with little to no money, knowing two other people. Yeah, everyone's here on a mission, but their intentions aren't pure. And now you're giving me even more of a reason to not trust a lot of my surroundings.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Cosmic Chats. We have the wonderful Juelz Valasquez, who is a storyteller slash stand-up performer, originally from New York. But today, Juelz is going to get very deep and openly talks about the loss of a close cousin when Juelz was 12 years old and the cousin was shot, and how Juelz has, as a result, dealt with trust issues in their life. So let's get to the famous banana question. How would you describe the taste of a banana to someone who's never had one?
Sweet. Um, Definitely. I would describe the texture. Yeah, I would have to say the texture is more, not grainy. That's a weird way to describe it, but sticky, like mush, sticky, sweet.
Mush, sticky, sweet. Would you say that's how your audiences
Yes,
feel
when you
after
bite
your
into it.
set?
Oh. Hmm. That's a good question. I would say 50-50 split. Split.
50-50 split. Oh, so they'd be having a banana split. All right. So if you can remember back, maybe in your childhood, where you had your first perception shift, we like to say your first existential life crisis.
um, I would say I would say life crisis, but a shift in reality would be when one of my cousins passed away when I was, what was I, 12, 13. I was 13. He was shot in Honduras. So that was a very, it hit different and hit my perception on a lot of things. So that I would say that changed.
Now, were you originally from Honduras?
My family is both sides, but I'm from the Bronx.
And how close were you with your cousin?
Uh, we were close. That was my mom's brother's son. He was the oldest, and he, me and my brother, we'd go over there. He'd show us his. I don't know if you remember Connect. It was like Lego, but it was a different version of Lego, and he would build Connects all the time. All the time, he wanted to become a pilot. He had just got his license to be a pilot and fly, and his life was taken away. So we were pretty tight.
And how did you respond to that knowledge?
Mm, I come from a family where emotion is not really like a thing. Like we don't cry, we don't do all of that. So at the time, it was more anger. It was definitely more anger, more upset at everything, the situation of how it went about. Because he was pretty much set up by some chick out there. Some girl set him up. Yeah, he got robbed, and yeah, they got him. So it was mainly anger for sure.
So the conversation in the household was not one of I'm sad or people crying. There was maybe pots being put down a little more heavily, feet stomping a little more heavily, and frustration at the world or maybe the government, or what was the emotional temperature?
It was heavy. It was definitely heavy because that's like within the immediate family, but it was it was dark. Definitely a sadness in there, but we handled it how we handled it, pretty much, which is just trying to figure out how we can stay together and keep going about what we're doing and stay up.
So there was no at night you hear people crying.
Nah. And I mean, if anybody cried, then I'm pretty. I mean, I'm pretty sure we did. I did, but it wasn't out. It wasn't where anybody can hear. It was like little random moments and stuff when I was alone. So I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So now, how many people were in your household at that time?
In the household, it was just me, my mom, my brother. It's always just been us three. Um, Within that household, everyone else, has their own families and whatnot. But we're always because pretty much everyone's either in the Bronx or Honduras. So linking up in New York or linking up in Honduras, it was always a family thing.
So would you have discussions about your feelings of it?
Yeah, but it was with like within the age group. So my brother, our other cousins, um, and it'd be like brief, just little small talk about it, and then just like that, like it's messed up.
And did the elders at all, whether it was at the funeral service, ever pass on words of wisdom to you?
Um, I felt like everyone pretty much just felt as if just keep going for what we're doing anyway. Because again, he had just got his license to fly, just got it, and it's unfortunate that he's not able to do that. So at least the rest of us, while we're still here, if we have something, is just keep going for it because we're fortunate enough to still be around and go for those things.
And what about your personal perception shift?
Personal trust. Oh, trust. Like that. Just the whole. I mean, I've already had trust before. Like again, we're from the Bronx, so it's like a bunch of having to watch it back, regardless. But this was a whole different thing because this was somebody he loved. This is somebody he cared about, and to go ahead and do that is just like, dang, that definitely opened a whole different barrier for me.
Now, you were 12 at this time, correct?
Mm.
So I would imagine you weren't in a relationship of any kind, of any depth at that time. How did you find it had your behavior when it came to romantic relationships?
Um, I've again the whole trust thing is always a thing of just being careful. Again, our family is very on just be careful on outsiders, regardless because of situations. Even prior to that situation, it was always just be careful because people are shisty. So that mentality and then that incident just like juiced it together. And when I got older, it was one of those things where it was difficult because it's like no matter how much you try to be careful or how much you try to not get hurt, there's gonna be something or somebody there. So it was difficult. It was difficult. It definitely
Now, do
was.
you find in the romantic realm you were at a place where your cousin was, where it could be life or death?
Mm, no, not no no. I don't. I've never felt in that situation like that deep, but I definitely felt that in a situation as far as robbing me of my myself of who I am as a person, like stealing that, trying to take that with trying to take that or trusting you of manipulation, like just all that kind of all those kind of things. But as far as life and death, I've never felt it to that extreme. Because again, I'm careful anyway. So the moment I smell something that doesn't feel right, then I'm just gonna cut that off immediately. And I could be wrong, but I just rather cut it off and be safe than sorry.
So the solution was that if someone got any kind of a vibe that they could possibly be mistrusting, you cut it off or you cut them out of your life. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of times it's sometimes we can be wrong, sometimes, and it'll be, I guess, like patterns that I've noticed. And at that point, if I don't cut you off, I'm gonna keep you at a distance, 100%.
Now, obviously,
Definitely at a distance.
yeah, we're going back to a 12-year-old consciousness, right? Not who you are now, right? So we're just going back to
Yeah.
that perception, right? Because it's very primal, right? So then very normally the fight or flight response, which is designed to protect us, that's what it's for, wants to shut down, right, the barriers, right, of I'm not
Mm,
going to open myself up because I'm going to get hurt. Now, again, we're using the information you've given me of this isn't life or death for you, unlike the tragedy that happened to your cousin, right?
mm,
Um, and this often happens whether it's the demographic you're from or if someone is really wealthy, right? They have trust issues of letting people in because they want to take their money, right? So, this is a global issue with trust,
yeah.
right? If we're hurt. Looking back now with your consciousness of who you are to back where you were preteen, teen,
Mm.
would you say there were possible moments where a conversation or a question could have maybe resolved something rather than backing away and cutting oneself off?
In that moment, when I was at like 12-year-old,
You looking back now, obviously when you're at that age,
um,
from 12 to like 20.
if I don't know, maybe it's stubbornness in me where I'm just like I just don't see it a thing of trying to go back and possibly this nah like I
And now, with the consciousness of where you're at, you keep a distance, but a friendly distance. Agreed?
yeah, yes,
Right,
yes,
right. So
yes.
friendliness, right? And that also means friendliness with ourselves, okay?
Hmm.
Because if you are an individual, which it sounds like what was that grew up in I'm going to say a fight or flight consciousness, right? You checking your back, right? Lots of major cities have that. That
Hmm.
that fight or flight response in the nervous system is always being prepared, right? The idea is you have to prepare and keep yourself guarded, right? When did you have a shift to rather than cut people out, but to be at a friendly distance? Was there a moment where you took that tact more naturally than just
um I don't know why I didn't mention this before. Actually, that when I joined the military when I was 18, that was more of a like, all right, like I'm with people where we're literally each other, like we have to have each other's backs, you know. So you have to trust that, whether it's your, a soldier or Marine, Navy, like sailors, these are people that you're going to be going on deployment with and fighting next to. So there's got to be some kind of, trust and lower those barriers for sure. So that I would say shifted.
are you still close with any of the individuals you served with?
Yes. We don't. everyone is always busy, but when we do talk, like we talk. So we're still close. We still keep in touch. I actually have a cousin who coincidentally ended up the same rate that I was and is stationed with somebody that I served with. So it's always good to still have those connections.
And do you feel that that bond is because it was through literally a life or death?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And when you decided to move to California, did you have a perception shift?
Um, definitely more being more cautious because I was coming out here with little to no money, knowing two other people that I was going to be going to school with. Yeah, but that's different. My whole family is over here on the East Coast, so it was definitely all right, we're about to go over there bare, no house, no car, no nothing. So that was definitely a shift.
And how did you find your perception of individuals in California versus New York?
Different. They say New York we're mean, but it's not even mean. It's just no time for the BS. Like sorry to say, like I'm even sorry to be honest, but it was just finding out I already have these barriers, and now I'm meeting people who, yeah, everyone's here on a mission, but their intentions aren't pure. And now you're giving me even more of a reason to not trust a lot of my surroundings, and it's a lot of that, unfortunately, out here.
Now, this is because specifically you moved out here participating in the entertainment industry, correct?
Yes.
Right. So the environment, even though it was New York, was of non-entertainment people collective, correct?
Hmm.
Have you
Yeah.
found a community in Los Angeles that isn't entertainment based?
Yes, and like there's honestly is maybe one, two, three people, two people that I can say that I've met in LA that are like from born raised out here that are like boom. Even like one of my closest homegirls, she's born and raised in LA. It's from the moment I met her, I asked her like, "You ever been to New York?" She was like, "No." I was like, "Sheesh!" Like reminds me so much of over there, and it's just refreshing to meet that. She's not in the entertainment world. She's chilling, but it's just refreshing in general. Whether it would have been someone in the entertainment world or not in the entertainment world, I still feel like I have met people out here that, even though they're not, their intentions still have something to do where it is not is losing my trust. So the very few people that I have met from out here that are pure, I definitely cherish that.
And how long have you been here now?
5 years, going 5 6 years, yeah, 2017, yeah,
And how would you
so about
say
4 or 5.
you have matured emotionally or spiritually um, in your reliance upon people?
Um, I've been honestly, I feel like it's been easier when I've been going with my gut and going about things kind of solo. It's just less stressful. And then the people that I did let go, my life completely did a 360. Like shows were starting to get better. Like it was so much stuff that was just refreshing after letting that go. And also picking and choosing my battles, when to snap and when to just be like, you know what, it's not even worth it. So that's something that I say I definitely matured in since I moved out here.
So that would be going inward and listening to your own intuition, your gut.
Hmm.
And do you have a
Hmm.
practice or anything you do to help get yourself in a place where you can hear that more?
Yes, damn. I actually don't have it, but I have I was gifted this heart that jingles, and
Mhm.
it's made for like when your temper starts to go up, of course. So like that's one of the things I do. Like I just roll it into my hand, and it soothes me, of course. And take a few deep breaths, and I take this exercise that one of a acting teacher gave me is just blank mind, blank, let it all, just white paint, and just
So you
breathe.
have an image of something that you follow.
Yeah, I have a white wall, and then I just create the space that I want with the breaths.
It's a visualization exercise. Yes.
Hmm.
So again, it's about getting that nervous system that I'm not going to say self-stim, but if you have that object, and it helps bring the nervous system from that fight or flight to the parasympathetic, is what we call it, also known as the relaxation state. And we could call what you're doing a meditative state. And the word meditation, oh lordy, it's sort of all out of control now. It's almost like the doctor says, can you go and exercise and come back? But what is the exercise? Are you walking an extra block with your frappuccino? Or are you like training for a
Mm.
marathon? Right. And so the practice of meditation that I found changed my life. We of course teach, and the nonprofit has an ebook right now called Vedic Meditation Stories. It's free if you have Amazon Kindle Unlimited, which is actually Prime, and you don't need a device anymore. And you can read real stories from individuals who would never have thought of wanting to meditate, and how it does exactly what you have shared, gets the system from that fight or flight to the parasympathetic on a habit that then
Yes.
actually not changes it temporarily, but it starts to print out a physiology that doesn't wake up on that high rev anymore. Because once we are used to and having your experience with your life, your system is used to being at this certain level. It's used to it, and that's normal. So when something comes down or something that seems easy, and this can take place maybe whether it's, like a dating situation, something's wrong, it's going too good, right? And that's because the system is used to or waiting for the mistrust to happen, or anything, because that's normal. So when there's a regular habit of getting the physiology, the consciousness back to a relaxation state, then that actually means we don't create pretty much drama for us to feel normal anymore. And if we grow up in a society, a situation where we are, and we have to, right? We have to survive. No wonder we have a consciousness of people always creating tension, because that's what feels normal. That's when we can create a community. So in the military, it's life or death, right? Of course, there's got to be community. And we
Hmm.
all want to commune, right? What has COVID shown us more than anything? We need human interaction. We need to commune with each other. However, there's such a disconnect with self-worth being related to material means. And if we come from an environment where we don't have much material means, then we want to be able to get beyond that, right? But when there is not the
Yeah.
consciousness of those who do have material means to be providing, the self-worth is not based on material means, right? Which is actually a way of keeping those who don't have it down, because all they're trying to do is attain it. And then what people are trying to do is to attain it. And how you attain it is by working for those who already have it. And now I feel like I'm going on a Russell Brand rant. What he's saying is absolutely true, because with the meditation that I teach, it gets the nervous system switched off so quickly for regular people. And as a result, what happens is we don't have to temporarily change our mindset. We don't have to temporarily change our state of mind. We have a shift in consciousness. And so a shift in consciousness means we don't live at fight or flight anymore. So we don't make decisions that are fight or flight based. We begin to be able to clearly know that's them, this is me, and we feel rather than solo when we make our decisions, we feel at one, at peace, and then it doesn't feel as empty. So with all the knowledge and experience you have now, what would you like, or what are you hoping to create to make the world a better place when your body isn't here anymore?
Oh, can we repeat that question? Because I want to make sure that I sizzle in what I heard.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
The body is finite, so the body is going to drop. What would you like to create that can be left on the world tangibly to make it a better place from Juelz having been here?
Oh, a list of stuff. I don't even know where to start. I would love the main thing. Honestly, and this is gonna sound probably insane, but a food truck. A food truck. Yeah, just because I'm very big on food bringing people together and different from West Side and East Side, and it just shows that we can put so much aside, dude, and just chill. And that's what I would like to leave behind at the end of all of this is that there.
I love it. A philanthropic food truck. So let's see it. I see a meditation event where people get together to learn about what it is through a food truck. How great would that be? And what kind of food are you going to serve?
We're definitely going to do a mix of both the West Coast, the different nationalities that are predominantly on the West Coast, and then the different nationalities that are predominantly on the East Coast. And they would be all in one food truck.
Wow, that's a big truck.
Yeah. It'll be like main dishes. So, for example, Cali is super known for like their tacos, you know. Then and then in New York we're known for the pizza or chopped cheese, and then in the South they're known for like their ribs. So just like little small stuff like that for each, I guess, side of the coast that would be incorporated in that truck. And of course, meditation music, things calming, the jingling, because again, I carry around my little jingle and that helps me. That usually helps me. So I would like that to be around on the truck.
That sounds beautiful. Well, if you want to know more about Juelz, all her information, your information is down in the description. And we want to thank you all for joining us for another episode of Cosmic Chat.